video, I'll be sharing on creating a healthy boundary. Yes, for emotional awareness and healing journey, creating a healthy boundary around you against toxic people and environment and things is very important. So today I'll be sharing briefly on how we can begin this creation of boundary to protect us and to give us feelings of safety. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Cheers. Creating a boundary is one of those things we have to do when we're involved in healing. All right, for successful healing journey, there comes a time where we have to create a healthy boundary mentally around ourselves. Okay, this boundary gives us a sense of safety around toxicity. Toxicity could be coming from things, from places, from people. All right, and because we don't have control over these people, we don't have control over their behavior, but we have access to create a boundary, right? So what do? We use that boundary to influence how they behave around us. All right, if you understand normal country to country boundaries, you might have a better idea of what it means to have or create a healthy mental boundaries. Different countries have the guidelines and their rules for giving you visa to their countries, right? And even within the duration of the visa, if you beat the guidelines, if you commit a crime or do something that is not expected of you, what do? They deport you, some jail you, anything could happen. All right, so it's the same thing. Having a boundary, mental boundary around you is actually like having guidelines of what you expect from people, the kind of behavior you want them to have around you, and also your own needs, how you want your needs to be met. Okay, it's similar. All right, just that in this case it's mental. Okay, so a lot of it will involve your behavior and your assertions, your verbal assertions. Okay, so to create a boundary, you must know what you need. If you don't know what you need, if you don't know what your expectations are, how can you even create a boundary in the first place, right? There's so many benefits to having a boundary. The feeling of safety. Okay, in the first place, you feel insecure because you think that you lack safety around these people. They make you feel insecure. They talk to you anyhow, they do anyhow, and you don't like it, right? You're feeling resentment from all of this mistreatment of you, and you want to prevent it from happening, right? So you want to use a boundary to influence their behavior so that you can have a change in their behavior indirectly, right? So when you have a boundary, you feel secure, you feel safer, you are at peace. You have more energy to expend on other things. The energy you would have wasted in defending yourself, in fighting and quarreling over the issues over and over again without significant change from their behavior, it's now extended to do other things, all right? Because you have created a boundary, so there's a limit to their behaviors around you, right? And then you feel at peace, okay? And then it also reduces resentment. One thing that I realize is that when people continue to step on you and you feel helpless about it, especially if there are people that are higher than you in positions, you might feel resentment against them. And so sometimes you give them the silent treatment. You loathe them for treating you that way. And at the same time, you also feel angry with yourself for not being able to protect yourself. So with boundary, all of this is done with, or at least reduced to a certain extent. All right, so this means that having a healthy boundary around us is actually a big deal for our emotional awareness. All right, so how do you start this boundary? How do you create a mental boundary to protect yourself from emotional and mental abuse, especially around toxic people? First of all, like I said earlier, you must know what your needs are. Just like each country know their needs, they know the kind of people they want in their country, and they create guidelines in response to all of these things that they need from these immigrants, right? So like you, what kind of behavior do you prefer? Okay, do people speak to you rudely and you cannot help it, and now you want to assert how you want to be spoken to? Okay, so know what your needs are, know what your expectations of their behavior are, all right? So that when they break the rule, they both know, and you know, everybody knows that the rule has been broken. So you might want to deport them out of your life or jail them, give them a break, create a limit, right? That's all part of the boundaries, okay? So know what your needs are. For instance, maybe people talk to you and ask of you things that you can't say no to, but you actually want to say no. So you feel resentment and fear and anger at the same time for not being able to say no the way they come at you, right? With boundary, next time you assert your words politely and at the same time directly. You say, I am sorry, I cannot give you this now, or I'm sorry, I cannot do this now, I'm sorry, I cannot do that for you. It's very clear. There's no need for too much explanation. If you cannot say this long sentence, you could just say no. No, for now. No, no is actually a complete sentence. No, full stop. Right? You can start from there, pending when you develop more confidence to say a longer sentence and explain further. But in the meantime, there's not much need for explanations, all right? Another one is actually to be direct, straight to the point. I said that before. It's very important. There's no need for dilly-dallying, all right? Somebody is intruding into your life, asking too many questions within a short time of you meeting them, and you don't feel safe because of that, do you? You feel unease, right? Just let them know, I'm sorry, I cannot respond to this now. Simple. Okay, that's the boundary, all right? Instead of you lying or trying to cover up or feel somehow, no, it's your life. If they have a right to ask any question, you have a right to limit their question. Okay, so that's it. These are all part of the ways we create boundaries, all right? And then ensure that there are consequences for breaking the law and not meeting up to expectations. This is very key, because if you don't do this, they think that you're not serious, so they don't take you seriously. All right, when you say it, they just like, oh, you know, and then they do otherwise because they know you won't do anything. You're just talking, you're just blabbing, right? But when they know there's a consequence, and the consequences should be immediately, so that they know what they're being punished for, all right? That way they learn that, no, this time you're serious. And what are you doing? You're feeling safe, you're feeling protected, okay? So be direct, know what your needs are, know what your expectations are, ensure there are consequences for misbehavior, all right? It's very important. And when they make that mistake, maybe they're speaking rudely to you again and it's affecting your emotions, you don't like it, immediately you tell them, I don't like being spoken to this way. I would rather you speak to me this way. Or you always say it this way. I would rather you say it this way. Or you say, it hurts me every time you talk to me this way. Can you please talk to me this way? These are direct statements. It's not insulting, is it? You're just letting them know that I don't feel at ease with you talking to me this way. It's an emotional abuse, it's a verbal abuse towards me, and I don't like it. So I'm saying this is how I would rather be treated. This is how I would rather be addressed, right? In the first time, it might sound awkward, it might look somehow because you're just starting, but in time they get used to it and then they begin to learn. Sometimes people treat you anyhow because you have never asserted your needs and expectations. That's the truth. You allow anyhowness, and so they continue in that regard. So when you start to let them know that enough, okay, they also see that it's enough, and then everybody feels okay, all right? Everybody knows what to expect, everybody knows how to behave, and that way you feel more secure, you feel relaxed, and it's better, all right? How would you know if your boundary is being broken? If you feel unease, if you feel resentment, silent resentment every time somebody talks to you or treats you in a particular way consistently, that means that that's a break, okay? Your body actually gives you signs. You listen to your body, listen to the feelings, okay? That moment, don't hold it and start feeling resentment silently. Immediately assert your need, assert your expectation, okay? I feel sad, I feel angry, I feel bad, I feel insulted every time you talk to me this way, every time you address me this way. Simple. That way they know. And if the people have regard for you, they say, oh, I'm sorry. So people actually don't know the best way to treat you because you've never said it. You've accepted anyhowness and they're used to that, right? So it's up to you to actually declare where the limit is, all right? So that's how we start creating boundary. It's work, but you have to start somewhere, and you have to start today, right now, okay? So identify the person you need to create a mental boundary around, and do that now. If you're going through physical assault, like I said before, you might want to move out of that environment temporarily, pending when the heat is down, or you want to create a police restriction, then you can start to take part in this emotional and mental boundary, all right? All in all, it's about your safety, okay? You have to feel safe, all right? That's the essence of boundary. And when you feel safe, what happens? You feel secure, you're at peace, you're emotionally stable, and you're happy, right?